All right, welcome everybody to episode 4 of the Independent Threads podcast. Before I do my intro of today's guest, I do want to say thank you to everybody out there who's been watching the episodes, who subscribe to the channel. If you haven't had a chance yet, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, share it with all your friends. We're trying to build something here and let people know who these dope creators are. And speaking of dope creators, on today's episode. We've got Dante of, you know what? I guess it's IXI 911.
Yeah, IXXI. It's funny. Like, there's a whole story behind that because, like, IXXI was originally my son's brand because, like,
Okay,
he was rapping at one point.
okay,
Now he does pop music, but like, um, when he's rapping, it's like, like, I'll make you this brand, and this it would be IXXI. Um, IXXI is actually like, so you said 9/11. It's like that's actually his birthday,
okay.
and so like, when he switched genres as far as music goes. Um, he, uh, he just didn't want to do a brand. So I'm like, can I have it? He's like, yeah, go ahead. Like, bet I'm using it. So here we are. So
Yeah.
IXXI.
So I've also noticed on the Instagram and on X, Twitter, it also kind of looks like like a shoelace, right?
Hmm.
Like at the top of the shoe. So
Yeah,
yeah, no, it has many different uses with it.
yeah. So like, yeah. So initially, when it was his brand, it was a crown. When it,
Okay. Oh,
so like, um, and then after playing with the letter forms after a while, I was like, these do look like laces a little bit.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
So I then kind of like stylized it a little bit more just to kind of make it a little bit more obvious. Um, but like not overly obvious, but just obvious enough, I guess. Um, and started rolling with it, and then yeah, my mentor was like, so what's you have to properly define your brand. So I'm like, okay, so I did that, right? So
Yeah,
basically, like the laces is to pretty much express that, like, what this brand tries to do is just tie everything together as far as all of our experiences, like, being a kid growing up. Well, I'm from Toronto, so like, um growing up, like, you're just exposed to so many different things. Like, hip hop culture was huge for me. um and all of those experiences just growing up, like, are, if you tie them all together, you kind of get basically my brand.
gotcha. And so, speaking of tying things together, your brand has been around about a year,
Mhm.
actually under you. And, you know, I was looking back at a lot of the designs, and a lot of them have ties into the Filipino culture.
Mhm.
And so, for those of us who maybe aren't as familiar, because some of the shirts, like, and I know I'm going to explain this wrong, but that's why part of the question here is like the guy walking to get, I think it's some bread or something like that. You
Mhm.
know, what are some of the reasons behind those designs, and what they mean to maybe yourself and others within the culture.
That's the walk good shirt. That's actually my ode to the Jamaican beef patty.
Okay.
So like that's not even Filipino, it's Jamaican. So like, yeah, again, like growing up in Toronto, like, Jamaican, well, I grew up with a lot of like Jamaicans, Trinidadians, Guyanese people. Um Caribbean food is a big deal back home. So like I grew up with it. Um so a patty was a staple. Like, they even sold patties in my high school for lunch. Um So, there's this one shop in Toronto called Randy's, and they're very, very popular in Toronto, even outside of Toronto. But like, they had shut down for a while, um, but they recently reopened back up. But like, while they were shut down, I kind of wanted to do a little bit of an ode to Randy's shop, uh, and his tagline was always "Walk good." So that's why behind the shirt it says "Walk Good," and it's just this dude just holding a patty, like just trying to eat and trying to get to where he's going. Um, and yeah, it's an ode to that. So it's uh it's basically a love letter to Jamaican patties.
Gotcha. Now I know who to go to if I'm traveling to Toronto to get some insight on some of the non-tourist spots.
Yeah, I've been away from home for like over 20 years now. So, but um, so yeah, you'd need a better source than me. Probably like who probably Sean could probably help you because he's been there more often than me.
Gotcha, gotcha. All right, all right. So in this first year in business, what have been some of like the good and the bad that you've experienced, where maybe even surprising on both sides of it.
Hmm. Well, the good is like is the is the support. That's been a bit of that's been actually very surprising. Um, Initially when I started, right, I just wanted to make stuff that at least I would wear. Like, I remember like before I even started this brand, I was doing other shirts and like I'm a big reggae fan, so like um, I wanted the tenor sauce shirt, and there's none in existence, so I had to make one, and then I started wearing that, and that was kind of like the genesis of all of like that. But like I would basically just make shirts and see if anyone else wanted them, and if anyone else wanted them, cool, I'll go ahead and we'll do that. Um, so I didn't have any really high expectations when I started. So like the support was beautiful. What actually like kickstarted this brand was like this Kobe shirt that I did, and then like this one thing I did with Trend, where like um I would do like random photoshops of people, right? So Trend had this shot up of like him like um it was like I think it was pizza, right? He was like eating pizza or something like that, and what I did is I took that shot. He's got this big giant grin. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put a big giant pizza in his hand, and like, and then make it the old school pizza poster. Um, and then that just became like a big, fun thing to do, and it turned into like a Euro shirt. Like, oh, I made like he had this other one, and I put like I made it like that classic Euros poster.
Yeah,
Um,
right. Remember that? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So like um it really started like the brand actually like started getting it, not attention, but like um people started noticing it from that, just because it was just funny. Like that type of stuff was just funny. I love that type of stuff. So that's the good. The support is the good. The bad is like realizing how exactly how disorganized I am. Is like it's like this stuff this is quite a bit of organization. Like I'm still trying to find my way around that. How to better time things. So like I'm only a year deep, like versus Grimy and them been around for like 4 plus years, right?
Right.
Um, so yeah, I'm still learning a lot. I'm hitting up a lot of people too, like so they get also like the great thing is the support. My man Keith from Soul Food and Tune, they've been mad helpful. Kicks been mad helpful.
Nice. Shout out to those three, giving the support. Because and that's one thing that through doing these interviews and putting out the content is there's a lane for most everybody, right? As long as you're doing your thing, and just figuring out your timing and not just trying to copy and paste somebody, there's going to be a lane and audience for just about everybody.
Yeah.
Sharing that knowledge can help everybody, right? And so, um, what has been your design that has really meant something the most to you, or you just like the most so far?
Uh, let's see. Well, what, the shirt that you mentioned earlier, the Walk Good shirt with the patty. Um, I just love that shirt. Like I like actually that one and the it's funny people tend to gravitate towards the Kobe shirt, but like the
That's the
Michael Jackson shirt Yeah, like the Michael Jackson, like the Michael Jordan, like it's the Thriller album, but it's got Michael Jordan's face on it.
Yep.
Like those two shirts, like the Walk Good, like the Patty shirt and that shirt, are my favorites. Mainly because like um the Michael Jordan one is like it's kind of a double take type of shirt. Like you see like the Thriller album cover, and you're like, wait a minute, it's like that's okay, I got you right. And then um the Walk Good shirt is just kind of like because it just speaks to so much to like just growing up, like like I remember like coming home from like on the going home on the way from college, and um my exit was Islington Station, and they had these patties at this patties these patties at Islington Station that actually were really good. um so I remember like hitting that like every day, and honestly patties are like the one thing that like I could never get sick of. So yeah, those two shirts my favorites.
All right, all right. Oh, yeah. The first time I saw the Jackson one, I was like, "What is going on?" Like, and then my eyes corrected. I was like, "Oh, I see."
Yeah, it's like it's not a drastic edit, but it was like subtle enough that like, huh, like
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
yeah.
And that's a great segue into this next question about music. Is a lot in your design, and like one of the recent releases, the Freddie Jackson shirt.
Mhm.
I thought that was genius. Why nobody has done that yet. I really liked that one. But so, what is it about? Like, are you in the music industry, or do you just have a passion for music, and it just comes out in your design?
Music is music has been like played a huge role in my life. Um, like for one, I mean, like my parents would always have music playing in the house. Like Saturday morning was like, I was woke, like my dad would blast the stereo, and remember like those old stereos with the like the house speakers, and the EQs. Or like my dad had a Bose set, and these really big, like these the Bose house speakers, and he'd blast it, and it'd be like hella loud, and then that would wake me up every morning, and like that like it would like the range of music was crazy because like one morning I get woken up by like a Michael Jackson album, like it's an off the wall album, or it
Yep.
would be like the Emotions, or it would be like Carlos Santana, or like the Beatles. So like I had like my dad would just blast like all types of different music, and depending on what mood he was in. Um, so like yeah, so music was really important to me. Like music for me, it marks different periods of my life. Like I remember like in first grade, first or second grade, like Pass the Dutchie being one of my favorite songs because like like my best friend at the time was like he was this Jamaican kid, and he introduced me to the song, and then it got big on the radio, and like that was it. Like so like yeah, like music music is really important to me. And then like along came hip hop, and hip hop actually like opened so many doors for me as far as like avenues of exploration. So like I was a DJ, I was a graffiti artist. I used to rap. I could never b-boy because I was just not coordinated enough. Um, uh, but like yeah, like it was hip hop that like made me dig even deeper into soul music, and like create digging. So like then it got me into jazz, and got me into salsa, and all types of like different types of music. So like I have hip hop to thank for that. So like that's why like um hip hop to me is like super super important. And I was telling my son like one day, because he we were going around. This is when we were living in Nashville, and he noticed like how do you get along with so many people? I'm like, oh, well, I mean, for me personally, like music is the greatest uniter, because like I have such like a broad musical taste. I could talk to anybody and figure out what they like, and start talking about that band, and then like all of a sudden you develop a rapport with them. Um, and yeah, so I mean, it's like I haven't worked in the music industry. Probably adjacent because I used to be a designer for like a an agency that did country music websites, and I'm not a country fan like that, um,
If it
but
pays the
yeah,
bill.
huh?
Said if it pays the bills, right?
It pays the bills, man. It pays the bills, but like it also made me develop like an appreciation for it too. But but yeah, I mean, I used to do like website designs for country artists, and then it just from there, like I moved into product design. So like, yeah, so I mean, I'm kind of music adjacent, but it's been a while though.
You know, talked about a lot of crossover, whether it's from different genres of music. And, you know, right now, I think it's up until next Tuesday, if I got my dates right. You've got a collaboration with Unloved Ones, uh,
Mhm.
a partnership there. And how, how did that come about? Did you approach him? He approached you? You know, tell us a little bit about how those partnerships type things
Yeah,
happen.
he approached me. I remember a while ago, like yeah, like it was around the time where I first started, and he had put out saying that he was going to start working with smaller brands. Um, and then like all of a sudden he reaches out to me. I'm like, oh heck yeah, like I'm like because I didn't like I was so new at this that I didn't expect anyone to reach out, but he reached out to me, and then like just from like that first project working together, you know, I think like me and then love we work really well together. Like he'll like hit me with an idea. I'm like, okay, I got you, and then boom, like you know, here comes a thing. Um, so yeah, like we have like our working dynamic is actually really good. So like whenever he hits me up, he's got an idea. I'm like, yeah, I got you. Let's go. Let's do it. Um, and I think it was that one shirt that I did like of Michiko Melandro, and is like a anime character. Um, and like he's like, "You're into anime?" I'm like, "I mean, I like it, but yeah, let's go." I mean, like, I like anime, but like, I can't say I'm like super well versed at it or anything like that. Like some things I have to research, but he hit me with that Full Metal Alchemist idea, and
Okay.
we just took it from there. So like it was, yeah. I mean, like you know, just whenever he has ideas, he just hits me up. And we just work together. So like it's just kind of a standing thing now. Um, yeah, that's basically it.
Nice, nice. And so, uh, you know, for those that are watching and really like your designs, things like that, are collaborations something that you would consider in the future with other folks?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, like collaborations is like something I've just actually been doing from the beginning. So like there's that thing with like Trin, which is like a fun collaboration. Um, there's Fat Loves Kicks. There's uh, the Pettiest LA, um,
Yep.
Unloved, and then like I got something. I don't know if I should even say it, but I got another one coming um,
All right,
with
we'll
with
keep on.
one of these other brands.
Yeah, we'll keep our eyes open when you can finally announce that. So
Yeah.
that's excellent. So where do you think, you know, say 5 years from now, you know, when we got some time under you and you you've overcome some of those challenges, you've stayed in business for a while, like what would you like to see the business into or producing? You know, where would you like to see it go?
Um. Well, I mean, like, yeah. See, that's one of those things my mentor would ask me, and I would never have a good answer for it. He's like, "Yeah, where do you see yourself in 5 years?" That kind of thing. I'm like, you know what? I don't know. Like I'm just doing this for fun. Like honestly, like I just want to like keep having fun doing this. But if I were to actually give it some thought, and I did give it some thought. Like I'd want to move into doing stuff like rugby shirts because I love rugby shirts. Like you know, and anyone that knows me, I love polo. Um, especially polo rugbies. Like that's my favorite thing. So like, I'd like to get into rugbies. Um, Shoot, I'd love to do a collab with like Clark's, like you know what I'm saying, like that type of thing. But I don't know, like if I was gonna have any kind of like a personal marker um for like I don't know, I guess like I guess like a milestone, I guess. I don't know, like something that would like, that would say that I've made it to some degree of like success. Is that if like someone, if like one of my favorite like artists was rocking one of my shirt, I would probably geek, and my life would be made at that point.
There you go. Who are some of your favorite artists that you would want to see wearing your stuff?
Shoot, um, any of those Woo Cats, man. Any of those Woo Cats, like shoot, um, uh, any like producer, like like Pete Rock, any of those cats. Like I mean, you just like the old I'm an old head anyway, right? So like any of those artists, I would just be happy and honored if like any of them wore my stuff.
Got it. Man, maybe you just got to shoot your shot because I've got somebody that I'm going to be talking to. We're just working out the time. Hopefully, they'll tell that story. But yeah, it's all about just shooting your shot, and the person that they're connected with actually rocks with them pretty heavy nowadays. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, but you mentioned Clark's, and that's something I'm very interested in because I could not, if somebody had come to me a year ago and said, "Hey, do you know where I can find some wallabies?" What are you talking about? But you were like the unofficial champion of wallabies out there on the timeline. Um, what is it about them? Have you always been into them? Is this a new thing? Like, tell us a little bit about your appreciation for the wallaby.
um, I mean, that's just growing up around Caribbean folks, man. It's like Clark's is definitely a Caribbean thing. It's like specifically Jamaican thing, right?
Okay.
Um, so I remember like it was like the late '80s, like about '89. I was in ninth grade. Um, it would be you either wore like Clark's or you wore Bally's. I had a pair of Bally's and they got stolen, but uh yeah, and then of course you had your like your Jordan fours and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean Clark's are a staple. Um, so when you grow up around like a lot of Caribbean folks, you're gonna see some Clarks, man, and that's been the influence there. So like it's something that just kind of like it's like a call back to home. Uh, but also then you have like Ghost in them, that rocked with the Clarks heavy. And it was like um, so that's another like inspiration. If you go through like Jamel Shabazz's like books, like his photography books, you'll see but even back in the early '80s, people were rocking Clarks and all that, like you know, on the subways and all that stuff in New York. Um, so yeah, like Clarks have just always been like a part of the culture, um, and it's just something that I'm not gonna let go of.
No, like some of the pairs you were posting in February and March, you were posting a lot of them. There's some amazing colorways.
Mhm.
What is your favorite one that you have?
Oh, it's funny because like the one I'll wear like the Python, like there's like I got these suede Python ones that they're like the ALDs.
Okay.
But my favorite ones they're like all red, but then they got the weave pattern on the top of the foot.
Yep.
Um, like that's my favorite, but I baby them, so like I don't wear them as much, right? So like, but like yeah, that would be my favorite one. But the one I wear the most, I'd say, are probably uh I got like this like there's three pairs that I wear a lot. The end clothing, like the wallaby boot, they're all black with like this the filigree pattern on it. And then there's uh the the snakeskin, like the python joints, and then the supreme weave wallaby lows.
Okay. Yeah, we were. we were out in LA earlier this summer, and there were a couple like patent leather pairs that I saw
Mhm.
Supreme, and I was like, oh, I know Dante's probably looking at these and he hasn't already got them.
I didn't get them, man. I'm like my wife's been getting on me about like buying shoes, so I'm like trying to chill a little bit. I actually haven't bought a whole lot of shoes this year, man, because of it.
Yeah, no, I've slowed down recently. I keep a tracker of when I buy shoes, where I get them. Oddly enough, the last three pairs that I've purchased have been at secondhand stores, uh,
Oh, okay.
and I've gotten some pretty what I think are some pretty good deals. And I'll see them, I'll check them out, I'll look online, but I'll hold on to them because that way, if they appear to check out, like, oh yeah, this is a good deal. So
Yeah, man. Yeah,
so
I'm all yeah. So if I'm gonna buy a pair of sneakers now, or like any pair of shoes, it's gonna be a deal. It has to be a deal.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The only ones that I'll probably not wait for a deal on is if they ever release the He Got Game 13s. I will
Oh
buy
yeah.
probably buy like because I started collecting late, so
Mhm.
I will buy every size 13 of those that I can probably get my hands on.
Yeah, 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 man.
Nice. So, you talk about the sneakers. You got that wall behind you there. But what is your favorite sneaker silhouette?
My favorite silhouette is the Terminator. It's like like yeah, like I mean they all the whippersnappers out there will say yeah they bricks and all that, but I don't really care, man. Like the Terminators are just dope to me. I just love them. It's just like a nice simple silhouette. Uh, is like yeah, man. Like the OGs were like the Georgetown Terminators, right?
Yep.
Um, yeah, man. Like just like that navy blue and gray is just something about it. It's just super ill, man. Um, uh, but like the ones that are like I end up getting the most of are like Jordan 1. But like as far as like Terminators go, man, yeah, like I've been having a bit of a field day because like they since no one's really buying them, I end up getting them for cheap now. So it's like that's dope, man. So like I can still get Terminators, but like I got the ones that I want.
They yeah they've I've been seen a couple at my local outlets. I've been seeing them go on sale on the Nike app.
Hmm.
Yeah, you definitely catch deals on those. And even though you haven't picked up too many this year, what has been kind of the, the pickup that you've been most excited about?
Oh, that's the Safari.
The Safaris?
Hmm. Yeah. Mainly because it's like, because Bismarck he had that pair, man. I wanted that pair like so bad. It's like, yo, and finally when I was able to get him, I was like, yeah, man. It's like all I had was like um, it was like Bismarck he playing in my head, man. It's like, yeah, that's the one, man. This I've been wanting that shoe for quite a while.
Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Let's see. And then are there any, even though you, like I said, you're not getting too many, are there any that you know closing out the year that you
Hmm.
think, what, if I'm gonna pull the trigger, it's gonna be on this bit?
And I'm salty, man, because like I was trying to get the black toes.
Oh, I just saw that today.
Yeah, so now I don't have a closeout like sneaker that I have in mind because that was what I had in mind. I was like, I want I want the black toes. That's it.
Yeah,
But nah, man. That things change, man. So I guess I have to wait till next year on that one.
yeah, absolutely. As we get into next year, I think about how can they, as a brand, sustain all these shoes that are supposedly coming out next year, and there's been some confirmed, some already canceled. But I mean, if they're really going to be putting out all those colorways and everything that has come out so far,
Hmm.
man, some of us are going to be broke.
Yo. I'm gonna have to find a way to. I'm gonna have to find a way to fund this, man, because it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I'll even do some like freelance product design work, just so I can like because like I can get a bigger check out of it, and then maybe it'll cover it all. But
right, for
we'll
sure.
see, man.
Yeah, I think the only pair that I'm like I have to get is the 11 low breads. Uh,
Hmm.
those are coming out on my birthday, so I've already told my wife now. Like, I don't care what we do, we're entering every raffle because I want to pick them up on that day or get them early, so
Heck
I
yeah,
can wear them on that day.
yeah,
So
man. Yeah, I mean, like aren't the UNC ones supposed to drop next year?
yeah, again, yeah, that's the rumor there.
Yeah,
There's
see, that's
Chicago 85s are also supposed to come out. I think those are confirmed on like the 12th of February or so,
yeah.
somewhere.
Maybe like 250 or some craziness, man.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, you look at a lot of these retros now, and it, the fours that have been coming out are at 215,
Hmm.
right? So 250 is not exactly a huge stretch.
No, but like, come on, man. The tech is different, man. It's like we're looking at like 1985 technology.
Yeah,
Ain't
you're,
it?
but they got to pay to play, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I ain't too mad at it, but I mean, it's but at the same time though, it's like, I mean, it's not gonna stop me from trying to get them.
Now, I mean, that 250 price though, it's a mental thing, I think, and it makes you stop and think like, okay, if I'm getting these, do I wait on the weeks before and after,
Hmm.
and not get anything, right? And for people who are, I know there's a few people out on the timeline that budget, just 12 for the year. That's it.
Hmm.
But at what price point are they budgeting that 12, and do they give
Yeah,
for shipping, taxes, and everything? So that 250 might be like, well, it's a little more than I want to spend on the 12 for the year, right? Or it might make them say, you know what, I better something else better go on sale to balance it out.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been finding myself in that camp of like, you know what, something dropped, I'll just wait and see how low it can go. Um, so like, I know like the black and gold, the black metallic joints, the black and gold metallic ones. I waited a bit, man, for the price to drop, and still like wait. I'm still waiting for that sweet spot. Then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna swoop in now, get them.
Yep, yep. So, well, anything else about the brand that you want folks to know before we end our time together today?
Uh, nah, man. Like, I mean, like, I'm doing this for like for the love of doing it. Like, I love design. Um, a lot of the stuff that like I'm designing around is it's I'm not doing it just because of for the sake of like having a shirt to sell, but I put these things together because they mean something to at least me, and I'm cool if nobody buys it. I'm cool if everybody buys it. Either way, um, this is a creative, like expressive type outlet for me, um, and it's been almost therapeutic, but it also like is shown like at least to me that like there's a lot of things that just tie us together. Um,
For sure.
uh, as far as like themes, um, topics, that type of thing. Um, there's many things that tie us together, and we can all kind of like just bond around that sort of thing.
Perfect. Excellent. Well, before we get out of here, where can people find you on social media?
So on Instagram, IXXI.brand. Uh, on the Twitters, I think am I underscore IXXI underscore Dante, I think. Um, and I think those are the only two I forward. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if you get me on Instagram, that's you automatically get me on Threads, I guess. So like, so that's it.
I just made a comment earlier today about all the changes that are happening on Twitter. Uh,
Hmm.
I might sign up for Threads. Are there? Do you see a lot of people out there using it?
It's starting to pick up, man. It seems a lot more. Um, I don't know, like it's I don't. It seems a little bit like once you like post a certain type of thing, you'll see more posts of that. You know,
Yeah,
um, so I guess the algorithm is still like trying to feel things out, but but yes, I mean, like I'm seeing folks show up over there, like Unloved is on there, and all my like regular interactions are on there too. So like it I think it's like feasible to like just move over there, but at the same time though, um, the conversations aren't quite the same yet.
yeah, yeah. I got you. All right. Well, go check out Dante and IXXI Brand on Instagram and Twitter. And really appreciate if you're watching this to like, follow, share. Do all the interactive things so we can grow this podcast and get the word out more about these different brands.
Yo, thank you for your time, man. Like, I mean, for having me on. It's an honor. Like, I don't think I've ever done one of these things, and I'm really not much of a talker. So like, I hope I did okay, man. So
Did great. I appreciate you coming out of the shell for us, and letting people know kind of the face, the name, the meaning behind the brand, and that's what this podcast is for. Is to you know whether it's some of the episodes might be more for sneaker folks, but for those where we're talking to people who are running a brand, I want them to know who you are, who they're supporting, because anybody can walk down the street to a Dick's Sporting Goods, and Nike, Adidas, whatever. Um, and it's so big, it's whatever. But when we're supporting the smaller brands, I think that it's more impactful when you know who's behind the brand, right? And then that's my hope with this podcast is to let everybody know who's behind these different brands. So appreciate you coming out of your shell a little bit. Let
yeah. All right, man. Yo, thank you again.